You are not anxiety or fear. So we have a tendency to say things like, I am anxious. I am afraid. Or to even say, my anxiety is acting up. And the problem with doing that is that when we use the words I am, anything that we put after that becomes our identity. We are identifying with those things and reinforcing them in our brains and in our energy field. And it makes us believe that it's true and part of who we are. But that's not the truth. All of those things are just things that we have picked up from trauma and from circumstances in our lives. And it's very important to break the identification with them in order to heal from it. Think about it. If you constantly tell that story, if you constantly tell people, I am anxious, my anxiety is acting up, you are reinforcing that over and over in your brain as that's who you are. I am an anxious person. My anxiety is always present. And that's the worst thing you can do, is identify with something that is painful or limiting or stressful. So in order to get free from that painful mindset, instead of saying I am anxious or I am afraid, we need to practice saying, this is not me. So anytime you start to feel anxiety or fear, or you are talking to someone about anxiety or fear, recognize that the more you say, I am, and the more that you identify with it, the stronger it's going to get. Instead, when the thought comes up, I am anxious, or I'm afraid, or my anxiety, you have to start saying, at least to yourself, this is not me. This is not my true nature. I am the one witnessing myself experiencing fear or anxiety, but it's not me. It doesn't seem like something so simple could help, but when we do this regularly, we stop thinking in that same groove. We stop recreating that groove in our brain that says, I have anxiety, I'm an anxious person. Over and over and over again, the more that you say it, the more that it stays in your brain that way. The deeper the groove is in your brain, and the harder it is to get out of it. So again, when you feel yourself doing this, when you hear yourself doing this, that's the first step, is just to notice, first of all, that you're doing it. Notice how often you say things like, I am afraid, I am anxious, or how many times you say, my fear, or my anxiety. Never take on something that doesn't feel good to you as your own. Never identify with anything that doesn't serve you, that doesn't feel good, that causes you pain and stress. Your response is always, this is not me. This is not a part of who I am. This is just old stuff that's trying to clear my system. And the faster you are able to stop saying those things to yourself and reframe it as, this is not me. I am witnessing this happening. I am witnessing feeling this. The easier it's going to be to break those habits and get out of that headspace and to release it energetically from your system. Because again, things don't just live in our physical bodies. They don't just live in our minds. They live in our energy system. So anytime you're repeating those things over and over again, just like it does with the brain, it stays in your energy. And you will attract more and more things to be anxious about and more anxious reactions if you keep reinforcing it. So again, your response is always, the thought comes up, I am anxious, I am afraid. You immediately say to yourself, this is not me. This is me witnessing. I'm witnessing what's going on. But this isn't me. This isn't the truth of me. This isn't a part of me. This is a wound. And the more you do that, the more that you notice what's happening and respond to it in that way, the easier it is to make that break between your ego, which is always fighting for you to be in some sort of struggle, and your higher self that just wants you to be free. I hope you'll practice this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.